Hi guys, I picked up a game recently for my PS4 called Axe. I've been wanting to talk about it for some time, but I waited until I could actually capture some multiplayer gameplay just so I could kind of experience a bit more of the game really. Now I'm led to believe that this one was actually a Kickstarter project, but honestly, the way I came across this game, I was looking for Ogre Battle for the PS1. I was hoping I could find it as a digital download on the PlayStation Store, and this actually came up as the top result. And I looked at it and I didn't really know what it was. I had a look at a couple of screenshots. I thought, oh, it looks interesting. So the next thing I did was I looked online and I found that there was a physical version. And I think it was around £25 I picked it up for, but it looked that interesting to me. I mean, normally I wouldn't pay that, if I'm being honest. But it looked interesting, so I thought, right, I'll pick it up. Yeah, so the gameplay in this game is very arcadey. It's literally like, you can imagine yourself walking in an arcade and playing this on an arcade machine. It sort of reminds me, in terms of the gameplay, I would best describe it maybe as a combo of something like Gauntlet and Zombies Ate My Neighbours. That's probably the best way I would describe it. I know it's called Axe. I think that makes a lot of people make references to Golden Axe, but in terms of the gameplay, I don't really see a lot of similarities there. Maybe a little in the aesthetic, yeah, for sure. But in terms of the gameplay, yeah, I would definitely go with the combo of Gauntlet and Zombies Ate My Neighbours. It's classic arcadey, you know, rack up your score, you're killing enemies, gems fly out of them, coins, the gems will give you points, the coins will actually give you gold, which you'll let it spend on upgrades between stages. So there is like an element of progression in this game. Your score, as far as I can see, is purely just there for the sake of, you know, scoring high on the scoreboard. Now that is for some people, that isn't for some. For me, I don't really mind it. I quite enjoy it. I find it quite therapeutic, to be honest, to just almost be like get into this zen state of just flying through the level and mashing buttons. And that's where the controls come in really. It's quite, the way it plays is quite basic. You know, as you can see from the gameplay, you're like top down. You'll have like 3 different types of attack. You've got your standard kind of melee attack. You've got a ranged attack, and you also have like a special attack, which is usually some form of a dash attack. There's 3 different characters and they all play a little bit differently. The elf, the female elf, the dark elf, I think she's called Faye off the top of my head. She has like a fast melee attack that's pretty strong. Her spin attack is pretty effective, but her actual ranged attack is quite slow, and I don't believe it's as strong as the other characters. But her movement is also quite fast. She's probably my favourite of the 3, although I would say they're all equally balanced. There's another guy who can kind of walk around with a cannon on his shoulder. Now, when he shoots, he can actually move and shoot, so that's a big advantage for him. You'll see him in the gameplay. In fact, you'll see all 3 characters in the gameplay. He also has a dash attack, which is pretty effective as well, but his overall movement is pretty slow. His melee is pretty strong, but again, it's pretty slow. And then you've got like this druid style character who's kind of like more focused purely on the ranged. As a disadvantage, he's kind of rooted to the spot when you shoot, but he can fire that fast and it's that strong. And he also has the ability to teleport. He can be quite effective if you know how to play him. His melee, he just hits with his beard, it's kind of funny, but it's not exactly his strongest attack. So you can kind of see there that all 3 characters are relatively balanced. I played as each of them, and yeah, the Dark Elf is my favourite, but I didn't really find it much more difficult as any of the others. You just have to kind of adjust the way you play a little bit. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is a really challenging game. There's only 2 difficulties. Interestingly enough, there's easy and hard. One of the main things you'll find is that in the arcade mode, as you're playing through them, the maps are set, they're not randomly generated. And it's a case of getting used to those maps because your screen is quite zoomed in. What you'll find a lot of the times is as you're kind of flying through the level, enemies will kind of catch you by surprise because you won't see them coming and you'll get hit. As you kind of play the game over and over and you get a bit more like muscle memory in there, you'll know which areas that you're kind of going to get surprised in, if that makes any sense. Now, having said that, I haven't actually completed it. I played through on easy, I got quite far. I think I got up to like the fourth area. There's like a dragon boss. I played on hard, I got less far. But I do intend to complete this at some point. I don't think I'm really that far off completing it. like I say, it's an arcade game, so it's kind of designed, if you imagine you were putting 10p's in this, it's designed to kind of suck your money. Once you complete it, there is a new game plus mode that I've yet to unlock, to be honest, so I can't really say too much about that. There's also an infinite mode, which I did play, which more reminds me of Zombies Ate My Neighbours. It's basically rescue all the prisoners and then a portal appears, you can go over to the next stage. Now that is quite fun, and the difficulty kind of escalates relatively quickly. Like later on, there's so many enemies just like spawning into the arena that, yeah, it's just so chaotic. Definitely very action-packed. Now in terms of the story, there's not really much going on. From what I can see, there's like this evil witch-style lady, and I guess she's trying to take over the land and you're trying to stop her. I think really it's as simple as that. Just moving on to the graphics. The graphics, as you can see, are beautiful. It's nice and colourful. The artwork's been done by a guy called Hank Nieborg. He's like a pixel artist. I think he's Dutch. From what I've seen, he's done art for the Shantae games, Contra 4, and many more games. The animations are beautiful. The enemies explode when you kill them, which is really satisfying if you ask me. You know, just the visuals of all the gems and the items flying around is quite impressive. The bosses are one of my favourite things here in terms of like the aesthetic. The bosses are very highly detailed. As you do more damage to them, you can actually see the boss's kind of appearance change as you do the more damage. As you do more damage to them, you can kind of see the boss's appearance change, which is a cool little touch. Now, I've not experienced all the bosses yet. Like I said, I got up to the dragon. The dragon looked awesome, and then it wiped me out in about a minute. But this is one that, you know, I am going to stick at, try and get further. I kind of want to see everything this game has to offer. The audio as well, there's loads of voiceovers, like Faye picked up a chicken. Doesn't quite sound like that, but it's got like the whole arcadey soundboard thing going on. If you imagine like Metal Slug when you pick up the heavy machine gun and the announcer says the name, it's kind of like that style. It's really cool, and the music itself as well sounds like it's coming out of an arcade machine. And there's some really good tunes in this. I'll actually show some in the gameplay here, just a couple of short clips so you can get an idea of what the music's like.
Found some chicken.
So yeah, overall I did have a lot of fun with this. I would say I had more fun playing 2-player with a friend than I did on my own. It is fun on your own, but with a friend it's just, obviously you've got a bit of, it's couch co-op, you know, so you can sit there, play a friend, have a chat, have a few beers, whatever, and just mash through it kind of brainlessly. And it's fun and it's challenging. On your own, it is still fun and challenging. It's just, you know, it's personal preference. I prefer to play it with a friend. I didn't really find myself. Another thing as well is that when I play games on a co-op, sometimes you find if it's not split screen, because this isn't split screen, you're kind of confined to the same screen. Sometimes that can be a bit of an issue, especially when you're that zoomed in. But personally, I didn't find that an issue, and he didn't seem to find that an issue either. So yeah, if you see it, pick it up, add it to your collection, invite a mate around and have a go. So yeah, that's it really, just a short video today. I just wanted to focus more on an individual game and just kind of give my quick thoughts on it. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you liked it, hit like. If you want to see more of this stuff, hit like and subscribe. Other than that, I'll see you again next time. Bye!